Spark. Is this an upgrade or replacement to Adobe Spark?
Yeah, it's a great question, Michelle. They rebranded. I don't know, why. I don't know what was the reason for the rebranding, but they changed the name from Spark to Express. But it's still the same tool. They've added a lot of new features, and they continue to add features. But now it's just a name change, and I don't know why that happened.
Oh, all right. Because I was I had made a presentation before using Spark, and I wanted to do it again, and then I ended up in this rabbit hole that said that it was Adobe Express now, and then I went to look at the interface, and it was just like it was different.
Yes.
It seemed like it was more limiting, but maybe that's just because I'm not familiar with it. So
Okay.
I'm excited to see what the possibilities are.
Sure, definitely. And one thing that I must say is that, I'll show you, actually, I will share my screen just to show you how to log in through the FIT portal, or just with your FIT credentials, so that you do get you get the premium account. Um, yeah, so let's do that first. Let's just cover that part first, because that also is a little tricky. And if you are going to use Adobe Express for students, because they also fall under the umbrella, right? They have an
Yeah.
FIT account. So right, and so if it is something like basic graphics, or creating something very basic like an infographic, which we're going to cover today if we have time, having your students create an infographic, um, then they would have to go through that login, right? They have to log in through the FIT and then also go through the Adobe. And so let me quickly go through that, because I think that's important. And I do have
I'm already signed in. Am I correct? Use the Adobe Rush?
Oh no, not the Adobe Rush. We're gonna do the Adobe Express or Adobe Spark. I'm gonna try to use Adobe Express, because moving forward, that's the name that they're gonna be using moving forward. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Spark isn't even on the Creative Cloud anymore.
right.
So then, to one, you're not signed into another?
Well, Adobe Rush is a little different, because you have to install Adobe Rush to your computer, whereas Adobe Express it's an online login, right? You don't have to. So it's a little bit different than Adobe Rush. Adobe Rush, you have the application installed on your computer, and then you log in that way. Whereas this, you have to go to their website. So let me share my screen so that I can walk you through the process of logging in, so that you, as well as your students, will know how to log in without the free account. We're going to try to get into the FIT Pro account. This workshop was inspired by Patricia, because Patricia was basically asking me, hey, what kind of tools do we have in place at FIT that we can make graphics? And one of the most popular tools out there is Canva, right? Canva, CANVA.com, not to be confused with Canvas, which is the learning management tool. And one reason why I want to mention Canva is because Adobe Express and Canva are very similar tools. They're both tools that require minimal amount of, of there's not that steep learning curve like it is in Photoshop or Illustrator. I consider it the little brother to Photoshop. So you don't really have to go through that steep learning curve with Canva or Express. That's really the benefit of what this workshop is about, is that quick and dirty working off templates, right? So you don't have to really build everything from scratch. And
Right, it's like lots of drag and drop.
exactly, Michelle, a lots of drag and drops, a lot of pre-made templates that you can just pick and choose and edit. A lot of stock images, and intuitive, I would say. I think it's very intuitive and just very straightforward. Like Michelle said, very, moving things around, drag and drop, that kind of thing. So it's completely the opposite of what Photoshop is and those other advanced tools. All right, so let me log myself out. I had a couple of things I wanted to, actually, yeah, let me close these because these are some of the things I want to show you as examples that we can use at FIT. All right, so let me just log myself out. And I'll go through the whole process of logging in because that alone could be challenging for a student who has never done it before, or a faculty member who's never done it before. And we're going to keep it very basic, very simple. But if you have questions, please just feel free to jump in and ask. So I'm on Chrome. I just opened up a new tab on Chrome, and I'm just going to type in here express.adobe.com. If you're familiar with Spark, the same will work. If you do spark.adobe.com, it still will take you to the same place.
Jose, is there any way of making it any larger?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Let me. Is that better?
Anything is a help. Because I still can't see all the, but you can explain those anyhow.
Sure. Now there's a lot, and that's one of my issues with Adobe Express is that once you go in here, there's a lot. They throw a lot at you, so it could be overwhelming if you're coming in here for the first time. But on the other hand, it's a good thing because there's a lot of nice tools in here that you normally would have to go into Photoshop to be able to do. But now, as you can see, Adobe Express is borrowing a lot of these tools or features from the older brother, Photoshop, and they're bringing it down to Adobe Express. Like, for example, removing the background. This I can only remember being able to do this on Photoshop. Resizing images. I mean, all these interesting new features normally can only be done either with Photoshop or higher level tools. But as you can see, that these features are trickling down to Adobe Express. Anyway, let me continue logging in because I really want to show you how to log in. So I hope is it visible? If everyone can see the screen, right? Everything looks okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right, so at the top right-hand corner, you would then choose Sign In. And then from here, this is the tricky part, right? Normally, people would just click Continue with Google or one of these, but what we have to do that, we're under the FIT umbrella, we have to go with login with school account, that's why we're different than everyone else. It's not through the normal avenue. This has to go through login with school account. And then from here, you would then type in your FIT email address and then click continue. And this part could be tricky too, right? Normally people would click personal account, but that's not the right way. You have to click company or school account. And feel free to follow along if you want to do it, follow my steps as we're going through together, making, and let me know if that it works for you or it doesn't work for you. So I'm going to click school account. And that takes me in. Oh, there's one more step. So now this is the second verification. This is now from the FIT side. So now I also got to log in with FIT now. Notice it's not the full email address, it's just your username, first name, underscore, last name, and then your FIT password. So you're really logging in twice when you're trying to get into these tools, because FIT, it's like Fort Knox. We protect all these tools because it should only be used by people who are at FIT, not anyone outside FIT. Any questions about logging in?
No, so far so good.
No,
Yeah, Michelle?
no, I'm good. Let's go.
Okay, great. I love it.
I love it. Yeah.
I have to log out at 1:30, so whatever I miss, I'll watch your video.
Sure, no, not a problem. Yes, this will be
Okay.
recorded. Now, this is
Yeah.
the part that looks overwhelming, right? It's a lot to take in right here, and you know, I'm a little upset that it didn't make it a little organized a little better, but it's a lot to take in from just this. I mean, look at this. It's like, I don't know, where do I start, right? There's so many things to look at here. So basically, this is how you log in. Now, I wanted to show you the why, right? What is the why? What can I do with graphics? And one phrase that we're all familiar is a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So if you use a picture, you can probably, you know, get the message across quicker instead of writing a whole paragraph or a long paragraph, and then the students get bored or whatever. They don't bother reading the whole thing, and then that's why they never understand what's going on, because they don't want to read or whatever. So images are great, right? Let me show you some examples of what can be done and how you can implement those images or graphics into your course in Blackboard. So let me show you some examples before I show you this. This is the why, right? So this is like right here. This is one example. This is an infographic that I created in Adobe Express, and then I brought it into Blackboard. I can make it a little smaller. Here's a graph that I created real quick from a template on Adobe Express. And here's another infographic that I created in Adobe Express, 8 eco-friendly fabrics to look out for, right? And so I easily built this or created these from a template in Adobe Express. Another use case is in your announcements. If you go to announcements, you can drop in one of these graphics into the announcement page. In this case, I'm announcing the midterm, right, with a nice little image here, nothing too scary, right? And this is an online course. The midterm will cover chapters 2 through 6, and the exam will take place on January 20, 2022. So these are just some examples, right? And one more example I want to show you is on Brightspace. Eventually, we're going to move to Brightspace, right? And if you're familiar with Brightspace, it allows you to, a lot of the real estate areas are graphics, like the banner, right? So if you want to create a nice little banner for your course, you can just create something in Adobe Express, drop it in here, and now you have a nice banner. The other place is the table of contents, the visual table of contents, right? So for every folder or unit or week, you can create a little thumbnail or a little banner for each unit. And obviously, the image will relate to the topic, right? So to make a connection. So I just wanted to show you that, just like every other cooking show, they show you, something that's been done and how it looks like, and so that gives you an idea of what you can do with graphics for your course. It also makes it much more livelier, right? Colors, and it just makes it much more interesting, I guess, instead of just having text. Okay, so now let's bounce back to Adobe Express. So from Adobe Express, there's many ways that you can start creating graphics. One quick tip that I do want to give you is, if I go back to Brightspace, is you're wondering, well, Jose, I want to do a banner, but I don't really know the size of this graphic. How do I figure this out? One easy way that I've discovered is you can do a custom size, and then later on you just resize it as you bring it in. You can create the graphic and then bring it in and then resize it as it fits. Another thing that you can do is you can actually open up Screencast-O-Matic and figure out the resolution, right? Just by doing this. You can do the, let me just minimize this. You can take the little zebra and overlay that over the graphic that you're trying to replace. And you see in the corner there, it gives you a number.
Wow.
You see that 1456 by 244?
Mhm.
So now I take my little Post-it note and I write on my Post-it note 1458. Let me write it down. 1458 by 244. 1458 by 244. It's the same idea as if you were taking a photograph and you wanted to frame it. You need to know the size of the frame, right, before you put the photo on it, because the photo might be too big for the frame or too small for the frame. But we need to know the size of the frame. So to find out the size of the frame, you can use a tool like Screencast-O-Matic just to measure the frame. And it doesn't matter if you don't get it exactly exactly the same size, because we can always adjust the image when we import the image to the frame.
Jose, you're in Adobe right now, correct?
I'm using Screencast-O-Matic just to get my resolution of the
How
frame.
did you go from how do you that zebra thing into this is Adobe right now? I'm confused.
Oh, I'm sorry. So let me show you. So basically, let me cancel so I can show you how I did that. So basically, I just opened up Brightspace because I wanted to do a banner for my course in Brightspace. But
Okay.
I said to myself, I don't know the size of this frame, so if I'm going to create an image or if I'm going to create a banner for this frame, how do I know the size, right? So I need to figure out the size, the width, and the height, because I want the picture that I'm going to create, I want it to fit exactly the frame.
My part, but how did you get from Screencast-O-Matic to do that?
Sure. Let me show you. So then what I did next is I opened up Screencast-O-Matic on my computer because I'm trying to get like a measuring tape. I want to see the width and the height.
Mm-hmm.
So I opened up Right. So I opened up Screencast-O-Matic. I hit the record button. Right. It launches the recorder. Now to get the zebra box, I clicked on the size, and then I just chose where is it here? I kept it custom, right? I don't want to choose any of these because this will give me a 480, right? So I keep it custom so I can measure, right? So I didn't do any of these, right? So I keep it custom, and then what I do now is, now that I have it custom, I have the zebra boxes. You remember the zebra boxes in Screencast-O-Matic?
Yes.
So
This is in Adobe now. That's how I'm.
oh no, we left Adobe Express for a second because I just wanted to measure the frame. Yeah, so I left Adobe. I'm not using Adobe right now.
So I just got the measurements up.
Right, just to get the measurements. So I opened up Screencast-O-Matic, and then I went to the page that has the banner that I want to measure, because I'm going to replace this banner with another banner, the one I'm going to create. But I need the measurement. So then what I did was I opened up Screencast-O-Matic. I have the measurement set to custom so that I can use the zebra box and measure the frame. And so this is giving me, about 1458 by 244. So now that I know the size of the frame, now I can go back to Adobe Express over here. And let me get rid of this. I don't need the Screencast-O-Matic. I don't need the zebra box anymore because now I know the size of the frame. So I'm going to cancel Screencast-O-Matic and make it go away. So now that I know the size of the frame where I'm going to put the photo in, I can choose custom size, right? Because now I can just input the width and the height of that banner that I'm going to create for my course. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, perfect. So then now, you can easily choose any of these, but I'm going to go this way first just to show you, right? So I do custom size, and we said it's 1458 by 244, right? So that was pixels. So 1458 by 244 is going to give me a banner, a banner look, right? And there it is, right? It looks very similar to what this looks like, right? Rectangular, long, and narrow, right? So if I look at this, it looks just like this, long, rectangular, and narrow. So now, from here, I have a blank slate, right? So now I can, if I want to work from scratch, I can work from scratch if I want to, but I can also grab a template. And a template are pre-made for you. And there's a lot of them in here. As you can see, I can scroll down. These are all, as you can see on the left-hand navigation, the first item is template. Then you got text. Then you have photos. Then you have shapes. Then we have design assets. Then we have backgrounds, logos, et cetera, right? But the first thing they want you to do is you can choose a template. And if you click on the template, um, you see there's so many. And since we have the premium account, you don't have to select free or premium. You have access to it all because you're under the FIT umbrella, right? So if I want, I can choose this one right here. If I say, oh, I like this. This is nice. This is a nice template that I can use, right? And if I click on it, it then places the template over my my stage or the work area. So now this is the template, right, that I picked, and then I can work from this. But let's say I don't want to use a template. You can always go back here and change to a different template if you want to use something else. Let's say I switch it.
So Jose, a lot of those templates are like portrait layouts. Does it
Yes.
reformat the template to fit your canvas since yours is like long and landscaped?
Yeah, that's a great question. Great question. When it comes to that, and you're right, a lot of them are more of the vertical or square types. A lot of the times when you're doing a banner, what I recommend is from scratch because a lot of these will not fit that look that you're trying to get, right? So
Right.
something like this would fit best for like a flyer type. It's not going to work. And then it's going to cause you more time trying to resize and move things around. The idea here is to kind of do these quick. But you do have the little dots over here. Let me show you. Where are they? The little pinch, right? You can then, but you see how difficult it is now because every item within here is now has to be resized, right? So that's going to be the problem.
Right.
So I want to avoid this. This is something I don't want to do. I want to avoid. So let's go back. I'm going to go back and then start over again. So working with a template and working, and that's the difference between working with a template as opposed to then working with a custom size, right? But going back to your point, Michelle, if you see something that you already like from here as a template, welcome student back, something like this, or maybe all you need to know about bees like this. You can just click on that template, right? And now remember, this is not going to be my banner. This is something more like for an announcement or something that's going to go into my content area, where the size really doesn't matter, right? The resolution.
If you wanted to resize this for the banner, the 14 whatever by 244, can you change it?
Yes, on the right-hand side, great question, Patricia. On the right-hand side over here, it has the resize,
Oh,
right? So I would then type resize, go into custom, and then now I get the width, which we said was 1458, and we said the height is 244. This is why it's important to know the size of the frame, of what,
oh,
where
right.
you can. So that's why I wanted to show you that was key, right? To know the size of where you're going to put this image, because if there are restrictions, like a banner will have restrictions, the table of contents will have restrictions of the size. If that's the situation, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for you, and you need to know what are the limitations of that frame. What is the width and what is the height? Great question, Patricia. But look what happens now if I resize this. See, now I have the banner look again. But the
But you only
problem
have
I
the
have,
actual picture in the middle and just black on either
exactly,
side.
exactly. So I would have
Is
to
there
now,
is there any way of stretching it? In this
so
case, you know.
right. Well, now you have to get creative, right? Maybe I move the B over here, right? Maybe I can move, I can shift. If I hold the shift key and click, I group everything, right? Which it makes it easier for me to move a couple of items, right? But if I want to also include the bees, I would have to hold shift and click on the bees, and now I have everything to move. So that's another trick. If you want to group items together so that everything sticks together, you click on, let me do it again. I'll hold the shift key on the keyboard, click on this, click on one, hold the shift key, and click, and then one more. Now I got everything. I got the B, I got the text, and I got the B's. Now I can move this over here. But, well, I'm saying to myself, well, I have some empty space over here. Maybe I can, you know, I can then either put some text in here, right? So add your text. So now I have a new text box, and then I can move this towards maybe the middle, and then I double click on the text box on the top right hand corner. Let me zoom in so make this a little bigger for everyone can see. Let me see if I can zoom in. Well, I think that's the biggest. Well, let me zoom in further. But over here in the top right hand corner, this is where I can then type my message. right? Right? So now I can type, and I can center, I can left justify, right justify, I can change the font, I can look for something more fancy. I don't know, maybe
Less intimidating.
less intimidating, right? Not like so much in your face, right? I love that. I
Yeah.
love that, Patricia. Maybe this one, maybe, right? Less intimidating. I
Hmm.
like the black. I love the black on yellow, right? Because it goes with the B. But if you do want to change the color, you can just click on this black, the text color box, and then I can customize, right? I can go really crazy with this. I can go, you know, I can look at, even the code, right, for each color, or I can use the droplet tool and find a color that fits best. So it really lets you customize everything. I can also change the transparency of the text by going from 100 to less transparent, right?
Oh, I see.
By right by dragging the little, So what I'm saying is that have fun with this. You know why I'm saying so? Have fun because the most important tool, the most important button is right here at the top, the undo button.
If I wanted to, you grouped all you need to know about bees and the little bee and the little loopy thing there. You grouped those three together. If I
Yeah.
just wanted to, for the moment, take out midterm, So
Yes.
can I just right click it and it'll go away?
Oh, yeah. So what I did there, let me undo that so I can repeat what I just did. Remember, the undo is always at the top center of the screen. You can go backwards and then you can also go forwards. Um, to remove the text, all I did, Patricia, was I left clicked on there and then I just clicked the delete key on the keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Very, very straightforward, very easy. I just click on something. If I don't like to be here, just click on it, delete. It's gone. If I
So
say,
if
oh
you
my
want to
gosh,
back, go.
no, I want it back. Yeah, exactly. I want my B back. Undo. And my B comes back. If I want to make
Okay.
my B
Okay.
bigger,
So I'm going to left click on midterm and delete it. And now I just, well, I guess I could go back to before you grouped those three little pieces together,
yes,
correct? So I can then
correct.
just, instead of just keep on deleting, just go back with the arrow,
Right.
um, so that um, so what I was thinking was that it was making them separate in other words, keeping the original design, but keeping these three pieces separate, if that makes sense.
Yes. As you bring items into the stage, they're all coming in separately. Like right now, I can really just click on this little icon or this. As you see, they're all separate.
Okay.
But if I want to group them together and I say, well, I don't like these three items, I'm going to remove all three of them. So I click on one of them, then I hold the shift key, click on the second item. Now I have two items grouped. If I want to group the third item, I'm still holding down the shift key, and then I click one more time on this item. Now I have three items selected. All I have to do now is just click on the delete key on the keyboard. Not click, but press on the delete key on the keyboard. All three items are gone.
Okay, and if I want to go back, just go back to the other. So this is the same as Canva?
Exactly. It's very
Okay.
similar, very, very template based, templatey. I like to say templatey, because it's all templates,
Templify.
right? Templify. um, Now, what's cool though, Patricia, is that now that you've created this banner and you want to continue the theme, and you want to remember I showed the example here of since we're moving to Brightspace, I'm just going to use Brightspace for now. Um, I want to keep the theme, that black and yellow, right? If I create the banner, and now I want to create the thumbnails for each unit, and keeping the theme going, right? The black and yellow. What I can do now is I save this project, and by the way, Adobe Express is constantly saving your project, so you don't have to worry about having to click save. It's already doing it for you, and it says it there, save. So that's nice to have that.
To refresh my memory, so we have three levels of Adobe, correct? So Rush is the most elemental and simplest level, and this Express is the medium level or the top level?
Well, Adobe Rush is really video editing. So Adobe Rush really doesn't have much to do with what we're doing today. Adobe
Okay.
Rush is, yeah, it's more of video editing. What I would say is Photoshop is the parent, and then Adobe Express is more like the child, as a much more. Um, there's not that steep learning curve with Adobe Express as it is with Photoshop and Illustrator. Those are more advanced tools.
Oh, great. Okay. And thanks for clarifying that. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Now, going back to what I was saying, if like we were saying, well, this is my Brightspace. This is my new Brightspace course. I already have my banner with the bees and it's black and yellow. I want to continue the theme, and let's say I find out that um, the resolution, let's say for this little banner here at the bottom, is much smaller than the bigger one over here, than the parent banner, right? This is the main banner, but these are the smaller ones that we're going to have to create for your visual table of contents, right? For your welcome, your unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, and these are much smaller. And since you already built the big one, let's say this is the final version of the big banner, you can save the project And then you can make a copy, right, of this project. So let me save it and then go back to projects. Now it's here in my dashboard, right? This is my dashboard. I can then duplicate this project by clicking on the little three dots on the top right hand corner and then click duplicate. So now I have a copy, and now I can rename this and call this uh, visual table of contents for Unit 1. And then I click duplicate. And I'm going to have a copy.
But wait, but that's the bigger one for the banner.
That's an excellent observation, Patricia. And I'm going to show you now what the next step is, which is now we got to resize it. No. That's perfect. That's a perfect segue, right? Now, yes, this is too big to be put here. This is smaller. So, okay.
So you're going to go back to Screencast-O-Matic and do the zebra for the smaller ones?
I can do that and figure out the size of the small one. Yes.
It doesn't.
And then
so in Brightspace, it won't tell you the sizing of that already?
No, it won't tell you.
I thought I remembered that it. Maybe that was why I was having so much trouble. Okay.
Yeah, maybe
in finding one that would fit, you know.
Right. So this is the new banner, right? So this is now the banner for that that I want to replace. This is for the welcome or Unit 1 or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
It might tell you. Let's take a look. If I click on it, let's see if it lets me. If it does tell me, I don't think it's gonna tell me. Oh, it does.
It does?
It does. Let me show you. Let me make it a little bigger. It's hard to see, but you can, if you grab one of the corners and you start moving it, you see the little number at the bottom?
It's kind of small, but I gather what you're meaning. There's numbers that you can see. Is it 7 something?
Yep, 795 by 191.
Okay.
So that's nice. I didn't have to use, I didn't have to pull out the measuring tape. So now I know.
Screencast-O-Matic, the zebra. Yeah.
Right. So I grab my Post-it notes, and I always write it down because I forget. But now that I have this number, I know for the future, moving on, for the next Unit 2.
For all of those tabs, it's all going to be the same. Or
exactly.
those visuals. Yeah.
Right. So let me write it down. 795 by 191. 795, 191. All right, I wrote it down. Now I have it saved. So then I go back to Adobe Express. Remember, this is the copy that we made. This is now, I titled it Visual Table of Contents for Unit 1.
Okay.
Do you guys remember what we did to resize it? So, right over here. Intense over here to the right hand side is resized.
What is it's too small for me to see. What is that you're pointing to?
Let me see if I can make it bigger. I don't know why my screen doesn't allow me to. Yeah, it's not letting me. It only lets me. Yeah, it just says resize. It's a little tiny.
All right.
Icon.
Thank you.
It says
Thank
resize.
you.
So if I click on resize, and then I do the custom, right? Because we want to do custom because we know the size already, so we don't really. So now I'm going to type in there 795, and then we said 191. This is why I write it down because I always forget. And there we go. So it's a little bit taller. It's less slim. And now I can click where it says midterm exam and then say here Unit 1. And I continue kind of this, this kind of theme that I have here going with the, with the, bees, or, this could be any image. This could, if you're teaching fashion, this could be a garment, or if you're teaching statistics, it could be a graph or numbers, whatever you're teaching. Right, and then think about the color theme, right? So this is the color theme, and then you can move it to the center and center everything. And now from here, this is my template. I can save this once I have it ready. I can click download on the top right-hand corner.
That gets downloaded to my PC.
Exactly. Now I have it on my PC as a PNG, or you can do JPEG. I'm going to leave it as a PNG. It's okay, either or. PNG or JPEG will work fine. And then you do start download. And there it is. Now I have it on my computer. And let me also go back and download the other one. Right, so the main banner, right? So I want to get both. So this is the table of contents for Unit 1, and this is the main banner. So let me also download the main banner so I have both. And then we're going to replace it.
Or not?
Yes. Oh, great question, Patricia. So to label the project on the top left-hand corner where it says My Project, left click on there, and now we can give it a name. Let's call this Course Banner.
Okay.
And now,
And
it has
something or whatever. Yeah, the title of
right,
the number of the course. Yeah.
right. It was something like EN something 111. I forget the number.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now we have a name. So let's download this one too. So I'm going to click download. Oh, by the way, you can also
That's already saved, right, Jose? That's already saved.
saved.
You don't have to go back and.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right here. And Patricia, let's say I want to work with you. If you and I want to collaborate, I can just click share and invite Patricia to be my, we can work on this together, or students or whatever. And you and I can invite you, and we can co-develop all the graphics together. All right. So now let me download this one. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna go with PNG, start download. So now I have the table of contents, and I also have the main banner. So now let's go back to Brightspace. And let's do this one first, since I have already opened. So I'm just gonna delete this. I don't want this one anymore. And then in Brightspace is the little image icon right here. Insert images. And it's on my computer because I downloaded the images from Adobe Express to my computer. And it should be my downloads folder. But also, be sure to organize your files. If you have a folder that's specific to your graphics, it makes it easier for you to find your graphics in the future. So I'm going to choose Upload. And I'm going to choose a visual table of contents for Unit 1. And then I click Open. And then I choose Add. And look at this. Blackboard didn't, well, I think Blackboard did this too, but Brightspace right away knows that this is an image and it's already asking you for the alternative text, right? And so you can say that this image is decorative if it doesn't have any text on it. But if it does have text,
but it does have no. Oh no, that's table 1. I'm sorry. Sorry, this isn't the matter.
No, no worry, no worry. But
so Unit 1 then.
Right, exactly, right. I can write Unit 1, something like that, so that if a student is blind and they're using a screen reader, then it would read to them, this is Unit 1 banner or something like that, right? Unit 1 banner. And so that now this is ADA compliant, right? So then I click OK. And so now we have our little banner for Unit 1. And so I'm just going to click Update at the bottom so that this gets updated on the course. So let's do that. And you see, it fits the frame, right? That's the whole idea. You want to put the photo in the
Go back
frame.
to the whole table of contents. Let's see how it looks there.
Oh yes, great idea. Let's go back. Good idea, Patricia. Let's go back to home. And then I got to go to this one. I think is the one I was using. And there it is, right? So now I have this. Right. So now let's. But now we need to change this one, right? Oh, it was English 1101. I put. Anyway, that's okay. And so to change the main banner, you have the 3 little dots. And then change image. and they give you stock images, but we were fancy. We created our own, right? We don't need their stock images. We have
But
our
they
own
have
image.
some really nice stock images. They have a good supply of them.
Yes, look at that. I mean, they have a lot of good
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, that kind of connects to your course, right? If you're teaching computers or whatever, you can actually find something that might match with your course. And you can also search, right? Let's say,
Mhm.
search for something. But let's just upload ours because we made our own. So I go to my computer and then we upload. And then this one we titled it Course Banner EN 11.1 or 111. And then I'm just going to click Add. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. And it fits. It fits, right? So that's key. You have to make sure that you know the
That it
size of the
fits.
frame before you
Yeah.
put the photo on the frame. Yes. So it's
What's the
looking
difference
nice.
between the PNG and the JPEG? Because sometimes the PNG doesn't transfer over, but I can't remember which one it is, but the JPEG will.
Yeah, it's a great question, Patricia. PNGs, most of the time people use PNGs for that transparent background, but in this case, we're not really doing transparent background. But
Explain to me. I mean, it should be apparent, but what is transparent background? Means
right,
you
so
don't you see through it.
yes, like for example, in this case, if I would have done transparent, then it would have removed the background, right? It would have removed all of this black here, and then when I have
Okay.
placed the image, over here, you will see whatever's behind the image. Um, Not only that, but if you go back to download, you see here Adobe Express does a good job of telling you the difference of each one. If you hover over each option, it tells you
Oh,
like, okay,
nice.
here, yeah, if you hover over PNG, best for graphics, higher quality. If you go with JPEG, best for photos, smaller file size. PDF, best for printing, highest quality. So if you're not sure which one to go with, you can just put the cursor over the item and then it'll just tell you a little, gives you a little bit of an idea of what you're getting yourself into. But
Hmm.
you can go wrong with PNG or JPEG. In this case, it will only really matter if you go with if you're trying to get something that's a transparent background, which most likely, most faculty members are probably not going to do that. But if you are, um,
What's the benefits of using a transparent background?
right. That's a good question. If you're placing the transparent image over another image that has images, so not to contrast,
Ah,
right?
of
Doesn't
course.
get too busy. Now you're placing two images on top of each other, and now you're covering the one behind it. But you want to show the one behind it, so you got to go with a transparent.
Okay.
It's
So if
very
you wanted
rare.
to place midterm exam over the B, so the midterm exam then would be need to be transparent. So then the B would be in the background.
Yes. Let's say you wanted this B right here without this image behind it. And so now the bee just shows floating around because now you really don't see that it's standing on the ground here. So you kind of what you're doing is removing, you know, you could do a silhouette and remove everything that's outside of the silhouette, and then the bee can now look like it's flying somewhere. Or you can place it anywhere, make it look like now it's in Mars, or it's on standing on a popsicle stick, or someone's lollipop. That's how you can use transparent images so that you can overlay this image over another and make the bee look like it's on my head, on my forehead, on my arm.
Or if we make, can we make the midterm exam transparent and then place that over the where the bee is landing?
Oh, well, that you can do because the midterm exam is text. It's not really an image. So there's really no point I can just drag it over here. You know,
Oh, I was
most,
thinking like right below it, and then just see the and see it on one line. Midterm
oh,
exam.
right below I see. Like, so I move this up and then I make this one line.
Yeah.
and then drop this.
Ah,
Right. This is not where the creativity is happening. This is why I think it's best to learn by just doing, right? Because this is where your all the creative juices. Like this is a great idea. Now it looks much better if I, just
I was thinking it right in the white,
oh, in the
right on the
white.
bottom of the B. Yeah, that's
Okay,
where I
let me
was
move
thinking maybe that part would be transparent. So
something
then it
like
would
this.
just be it wouldn't be the yellow background anymore. It would just be
Oh,
the midterm exam right on the white. Am
okay.
I correct in doing this?
Yes, you can do that. Now, you can do that by clicking on the text and then going over here to transparency and bringing it down to 0. But then you kind of lose a little bit of
Oh, yeah, but
yeah.
okay, yeah, we need the background, the yellow to be gone, correct?
Right. So then we have to get rid of the background, right? So for that, you would have to then, let me see. Instead of doing that, I probably would have done it this way. I just would have done text and then add your text. Oops. Let me do that again. I did 2 of them. And then I would want to remove the background for this one. Or I can go with something from the left that I like. Maybe I want to use. Okay, let's do that. Let's do it this way. I like this one better. So what I did was, instead of going with the yellow background, I wanted something that was transparent, like Patricia was saying. And so I grabbed this one right here, instead of using
Okay.
this yellow one. And so now I get that transparency that you're talking about. And
Hmm.
then now I can write midterm in the text box right here and say midterm exam. So this is why you really got to play with this, and the undo button is like your best friend, because you have to. Let me make this a little longer. There, 'cause I went in one line, and now I can put it there. And now it's transparent,
Hmm.
right? So it looks a little better. And I can get rid of this now.
And
And then,
center it.
oh yes, now I can move it here, right? I can center maybe
Oh,
somewhere
so
here.
you just drag and move it then.
Drag it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can drag and drop it to the center, maybe here, right?
Hmm.
Somewhere there. So that's really it, right? That's the best. The best way to learn is by playing with it. Now, real quick, because my time is almost up. I do want to show you at the bottom right-hand corner is it shows you the layers. Which
I
image
can't
is on the
see
foreground?
that, so
Well, let me see if I
I
can make
mean
it a
I
little bigger.
see it, but
Can you see this one?
I don't see what it is. I see that you're
So,
pointing to something, but it's so small I can't really see it.
oh, okay, okay. But so let me describe it to you. So basically, as
Thank you.
you add elements and you start bringing in text, bringing in images, bringing in photos and items, this is the layers, right?
I
So these are
see.
all these elements. So these are layers, just like in Photoshop, but less complicated, right? Again, this is supposed to be very straightforward and simple. So the reason why I want to show you this is because if there is something in the back that you want to bring toward the front, in this case, the black background is at the back, and then at the top is the text. If I bring the background to the foreground, you'll notice everything goes black. So if I click on the black layer and I bring it to the front, let me see if I can move it. I can click on it, and then see I can move things around. It won't let me move. It won't let me move the background to the foreground because it's already considered the background. But let's say if I want to move, let's say the text behind the B. Now I lost the text because the text is now behind the B. So basically what this allows you to do is control the layers. So now if I move the text back to the foreground, now the text comes back. I just wanted to share that with you because this is
Is
important.
that
If
is
you
that also the same on Canva?
Canva, yes, Canvas has a similar, yes, where you control what's in the foreground, what's in the middle ground, what's in the background, and
Is it
then you
also
can
on the
then
right uh,
I don't. I think so. I gotta go back and check. I don't remember, but there is something similar to this that allows you to control if you wanted to move something to the foreground, or you want this to go one layer back. In this case, it doesn't really matter because they're all on the same level. There's nothing behind it, nothing in front of it. But in this case, where I have the text, this text, I have it in front of the image. If I want to move it behind the image, all you do is drag that layer behind the image, and now it disappears. It's gone.
Wow.
So, but I'm out of time. There's so much to cover with this,
Yeah.
and so I just
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I wish I had more time, but there's so much you can do with this, and the best advice I can give you is just to go in Canva or Adobe Express, any of these tools, and play with it. And also, if you are going to use it for an assignment, like this tool, the example that I showed you here with the, let me go back to real quick, is the infographics. I know professors, I know courses that have students creating infographics. You know, this is done, I did this real quick. You know, you go
Wow.
to, right, you can just have your students create infographics, create charts, create this. And, you know, and it's simply you do it by going to Adobe Express, you know, do a new project, click on the plus sign. Let's say I want to do flyer. Let's say I use a flyer or choose from template. And then I just say, give me infographics. Actually, let me do it this way. Let me just go this way, click plus, and let me just choose, let's say flyer. And then I'm just going to type in infographics, and you'll see how many you can get. Infographic. Here it is, infographic. And see, there's a couple here, different ones. You know, and they got to look and search. Like this looks nice over here. You know, and yeah, that's it. And then just work off of it, and then change the images, change the text, and that's how you do infographics. Canva is really known for that. That's why Canva is really popular. Is creating also infographics. But I'll stop here since I'm over 2 o'clock. If anybody has questions or anything, and I'll stop the recording as
Jose,
well. Let me go
will
back.
the recording of this be available this afternoon?
Yes, I think it will.
Okay.
I think it should be by 5 o'clock. I think it'll be done processing, and I can place it in. I'll send the email to everyone who attended.